The recently concluded BRICS 2024 summit introduced a series of notable agreements and initiatives, with one proposal standing out as particularly transformative: the creation of a unified depository and clearing system exclusively for BRICS nations. This ambitious plan holds the potential to significantly alter global trade dynamics by allowing member countries to operate outside Western financial systems like the IMF and World Bank, enabling them to conduct transactions within their own network. This proposal takes on greater significance in light of Donald Trump's return to the U.S. presidency. During his previous term, Trump warned global leaders about the risks of reducing reliance on the U.S. dollar. His warnings included threats of severe penalties, such as tariffs or sanctions of up to 100% on traded goods, aimed at discouraging any attempts to bypass the dollar. For BRICS nations, these developments highlight the urgency of pursuing financial systems that offer greater economic autonomy. The BRICS leadership is acutely aware of the need to shield themselves from the influence of U.S. monetary policy, given the global dominance of the dollar. By establishing an independent financial framework, the BRICS countries aim to minimize vulnerabilities tied to shifts in U.S. policy, while fostering trade and investment channels that are less susceptible to sudden changes in American sanctions or economic strategies. In this video, we will dive into the details of the new financial system proposed by BRICS, exploring the reasoning behind it, its potential impact on the U.S. dollar, and its role in shaping a multipolar world order. To understand the motivations behind this shift, it's essential to consider the historical role of the U.S. dollar as a tool of economic and geopolitical influence, a concept often referred to as the weaponization of the dollar. This strategy takes advantage of the dollar's global dominance to impose sanctions and restrict access to international financial systems for targeted nations. The dollar's dominance as the world's primary reserve currency dates back to the aftermath of World War II, cemented by the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944. This agreement established a global monetary framework where currencies were pegged to the dollar, which was backed by gold at a fixed rate of $35 per ounce. Even after the U.S. abandoned the gold standard in 1971, the dollar retained its central role in global trade and finance, granting the U.S. considerable leverage over the global economy. Prior to World War II, the British pound sterling was the dominant reserve currency. However, the war severely weakened European economies, leaving the U.S. in a position of economic strength, bolstered by vast gold reserves. The Bretton Woods Conference in 1944 aimed to stabilize the global financial system, leading to the creation of fixed exchange rates and further entrenching the dollar as the foundation of international finance. By the late 1960s, rising inflation and deficits in the U.S. led to doubts about its ability to maintain the dollar's convertibility into gold. This culminated in President Richard Nixon's 1971 decision to suspend the dollar's link to gold, marking the transition to a fiat currency system where the dollar's value is determined by market forces. Despite shifts in global economic dynamics, the U.S. dollar continues to dominate global finance, accounting for about 59% of global foreign exchange reserves as of 2023. This enduring dominance provides the United States with significant strategic advantages. At its core, it enables the U.S. to finance its deficits by issuing dollar-denominated debt, which is in high demand worldwide. This demand is driven by the dollar's status as the world's primary reserve currency, comprising around 58% of global foreign exchange reserves as of the fourth quarter of 2022. This privileged position allows the U.S. to borrow at lower interest rates compared to other nations, as international investors seek the safety and liquidity of U.S. Treasury securities. As a result, the U.S. can maintain larger trade deficits with fewer immediate economic repercussions, a phenomenon often described as the exorbitant privilege. Furthermore, the dollar's global dominance grants the U.S. significant leverage in shaping global economic activity. Since many countries hold large reserves of U.S. dollars and conduct trade in dollars, decisions made by the U.S. Federal Reserve, such as changes in interest rates, can have wide-reaching effects on the global economy. For example, an increase in U.S. interest rates can attract foreign capital, strengthening the dollar and impacting global trade balances. The central role of the dollar in international finance also enhances the U.S.'s ability to impose economic sanctions. By restricting access to the U.S. financial system and the dollar, the U.S. can exert pressure on nations, entities, or individuals that act contrary to its interests or international norms. This capability is bolstered by America's oversight of key global financial networks, such as the SWIFT system, which allows it to monitor and control dollar-denominated transactions worldwide. The U.S. uses its control over the dollar to influence global financial systems and geopolitical affairs through several key mechanisms. Economic sanctions. The U.S. leverages the dollar's central role in global trade to impose sanctions that limit targeted countries' access to international markets. A notable example is the sanctions imposed on Iran, which severely impacted its economy by restricting its ability to engage in international trade and access foreign currency reserves. Control of financial networks. The U.S. exerts significant influence over critical financial networks like SWIFT, Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. By coordinating with its allies, the U.S. can facilitate the removal of specific countries from SWIFT, effectively isolating them from the global financial system. This tactic was notably employed against Russia following its invasion of Ukraine, which severely restricted Russia's ability to conduct international financial transactions. Asset freezes. The U.S. has the authority to freeze dollar-denominated assets held by foreign nations, entities, or individuals, thus restricting their access to the U.S. financial system. For instance, in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the U.S. and its allies froze the assets of major Russian financial institutions, including VTB Bank, which holds nearly 1/5 of the Russian banking sector's assets. This move prevented these institutions from accessing their assets within the U.S. financial system and conducting dollar-based transactions, significantly impacting Russia's financial stability. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are increasingly pursuing financial autonomy to reduce their dependence on Western-dominated financial systems. This move is fueled by a combination of geopolitical, economic, and technological factors, all of which emphasize the bloc's ambition for a more equitable, multipolar financial order. Sanctions on Russia. The imposition of Western sanctions on Russia, particularly following its actions in Crimea and Ukraine, has exposed the vulnerabilities of countries that rely heavily on Western financial systems. These sanctions included actions such as disconnecting Russian banks from the SWIFT network and freezing the Russian central bank's reserves. These measures have underscored the urgent need for an independent financial infrastructure to protect economic sovereignty. As a result, Russia has become a vocal advocate within BRICS for developing alternative mechanisms that could shield countries from similar risks in the future. Concerns over dollar dominance. BRICS nations, especially China and Russia, have long expressed dissatisfaction with the US dollar's overwhelming dominance in global trade and finance. This dollar hegemony allows the United States to exercise significant control over international financial transactions, impose sanctions, and manipulate global markets. Financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, which are often seen as extensions of Western influence, further amplify this dissatisfaction. In response, BRICS countries have explored alternatives, such as China's yuan-based cross-border interbank payment system, CIPS, to diversify the global financial infrastructure and reduce dependence on the US dollar. Economic scale and trade efficiency. Representing over 40% of the world's population and a quarter of global GDP, BRICS nations hold substantial economic clout. This massive economic scale gives the group the leverage needed to explore more efficient financial mechanisms, such as conducting trade transactions in national currencies. This approach reduces the costs of currency conversion, mitigates exposure to currency fluctuations, and allows BRICS countries to bypass Western financial intermediaries. As a result, trade within the bloc becomes more seamless, independent, and cost-effective. A multipolar world order. The shift towards a multipolar geopolitical world has emboldened BRICS to challenge Western-centric financial systems. The group advocates for significant reforms in global governance institutions like the United Nations and the IMF. Establishing an independent financial framework is central to BRICS's vision of a multipolar world, one in which the group can assert its influence and counterbalance Western dominance in global economic policies. Technological innovations, technological advancements, especially in blockchain and distributed ledger technology, DLT, provide BRICS nations with the tools to create secure, decentralized platforms for cross-border financial transactions. These technologies offer an opportunity to bypass traditional financial networks like SWIFT and build more resilient systems that are less susceptible to external manipulation or sanctions. The potential for blockchain to offer transparency, security, and real-time settlement makes it a compelling choice for BRICS's future financial autonomy. South-South cooperation. BRICS's financial autonomy also aligns with broader initiatives, such as China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, which seeks to foster closer political and economic ties among developing nations through trade and financial cooperation within the Global South. By strengthening its collective bargaining power, BRICS aims to offer a counterbalance to Western-dominated financial structures and create a more inclusive global economic order. BRICS Financial Clearing Proposal at the 16th BRICS Summit in Kazan, Russia, in October 2024. Russia proposed the establishment of BRICS Clear, a unified clearing system designed to facilitate financial transactions among BRICS nations without reliance on Western platforms such as Euroclear. The BRICS Clear initiative aims to streamline securities transactions within the bloc, enhancing financial autonomy and resilience against external economic pressures. The BRICS Clear concept involves the creation of a centralized depository and settlement system, offering a dedicated infrastructure for cross-border trade in national securities among member countries. This initiative is designed to reduce reliance on Western financial intermediaries, thus mitigating vulnerabilities associated with sanctions or other external restrictions. Distributed ledger technology in BRICS. A key feature of BRICS Clear is the integration of distributed ledger technology, DLT, commonly known as blockchain. DLT provides a decentralized approach to data management, ensuring security and transparency through immutable records maintained across a network of nodes. This technology can facilitate real-time transaction settlements, reduce operational risks, and enhance the overall efficiency of the clearing process. Russian Finance Minister Anton Siluanov highlighted that BRICS Clear would be based on DLT, emphasizing its potential to provide a secure and transparent platform for financial transactions among BRICS nations. Complementary initiatives. The BRICS Clear proposal fits within a broader strategy to establish independent financial infrastructures. Other initiatives include BRICS Pay, a payment system designed to facilitate transactions using national currencies, and BRICS Bridge, a settlement platform enabling direct transactions between member countries. Together, these efforts aim to reduce BRICS's dependence on Western-dominated financial systems and promote economic cooperation within the Global South. Through these initiatives, BRICS seeks to carve out a financial space where its members can operate independently, ensuring economic sovereignty and asserting their influence on the global stage. As the world shifts toward a more multipolar geopolitical landscape, BRICS is positioning itself as a key player in reshaping the future of global finance. Distributed ledger technology, DLT, is a decentralized method for recording and managing data across a network of computers, removing the need for a central authority. In a DLT system, each participant, or node, keeps a synchronized copy of the ledger, ensuring that any updates are uniformly reflected across the network. This synchronization is achieved through consensus mechanisms that validate and agree on transactions before they are added to the ledger. One of the most widely recognized forms of DLT is the blockchain, where data is organized into immutable blocks that are linked sequentially. However, alternative models, such as directed acyclic graphs, DAG, arrange data in a graph structure without cycles, offering the potential for faster transaction processing and improved scalability. The benefits of DLT are numerous. Its decentralized nature enhances security by reducing single points of failure, making it more difficult for unauthorized alterations to occur. Additionally, DLT fosters transparency, as all participants have access to the same data, promoting trust among users. The system's resilience is another key advantage. The distributed structure ensures that even if some nodes fail or are compromised, the system remains operational. These attributes make DLT a fundamental technology in the BRICS nations' efforts to build independent financial systems that are less reliant on Western platforms. Within BRICS initiatives, DLT is being applied in various ways, such as in cryptocurrencies, smart contracts, and cross-border transactions. For example, the proposed BRICS clearing system, BRICS Clear, aims to facilitate secure intra-block financial transactions, offering a transparent alternative to Western clearing platforms like Euroclear. Similarly, BRICS Pay, envisioned as a blockchain-based payment system, will enable seamless transactions among BRICS member countries, reducing reliance on Western financial intermediaries. By integrating DLT into their financial infrastructure, BRICS countries aim to improve the efficiency, security, and autonomy of their economic exchanges. This aligns with their broader goal of establishing a multipolar global financial system, one less dependent on traditional Western financial institutions. Looking ahead, discussions among BRICS central bank officials are scheduled to continue in December. While full integration faces regulatory, technical, and legal challenges, partial implementation of DLT could significantly boost intra-block trade, potentially increasing trade volumes by 5–7%. Ultimately, the success of this system will depend on the design of the technology and the willingness of member nations to adopt it. Thank you for watching. We truly appreciate your support. If you found this content informative or inspiring, please consider liking and subscribing to stay connected with our community. Your support means a great deal to us. Feel free to explore another video from our channel, now visible on the screen.